I never imagined my own son would be the one to lock me away. The metallic thud still trembles through my bones. 1 minute my husband and I were heading down the basement steps, drawn in by a lie about a burst pipe. The next, the door slammed shut above us, sealed tight. From the other side, I caught the sound of my daughter-in-law's footsteps, quick, pleased. My sons followed, slower, but just as merciless. I went rigid. My chest cinched painfully, but beside me my husband rested a steady hand on my arm and whispered, quiet. They don't know what's hidden behind this wall. His voice held no fear, only readiness, and that terrified me more than the lock itself. It's strange, the moments a mother clings to. My son's first steps, his first scraped knee. The day he married her, the woman who smiled too big, clung too tight, and looked at me as though I stood in the way of something she'd already decided to take. I tried to shrug it off, tried to trust that love could soften anyone. For years they lived under our roof, rent-free, worry-free, but affection twisted into expectation. Expectation soured into bitterness, and eventually into schemes. I sensed the change before anyone else. Sudden hushed phone calls, important papers, vanishing from drawers, my husband's prescriptions, reordered by them, not by us, murmured conversations behind shut doors. That died the instant my footsteps approached. Something was being shifted, hidden, rearranged. Then I overheard her, my daughter-in-law, laughing. She thinks the house still belongs to her. Once they're out, everything is ours. Out. Not dead. Out. That word sat beneath my tongue like venom. It all snapped into place the day I found a legal envelope in my son's hand. My husband's name crossed out. A new power of attorney, already filled in with my son's signature. He didn't bother to mask it. Dad's getting old, he said. You too. We're helping. Helping by stealing our home, stripping away our rights, replacing us before we were even gone. I didn't yell. I didn't weep. I simply watched him walk off, realizing the truth. My son wasn't acting alone. Someone had taken my place in his life, and it wasn't just his wife. It was greed. Quiet, well-fed, patient. That night, I told my husband everything. He didn't look startled, not even hurt. He looked ready. I've known this day was coming, he murmured, and said nothing more. But I recognized that expression, the look of a man who'd been preparing long before the betrayal ever surfaced. So I waited, watched, listened, and together we played the part of the frail old fools they believed us to be. We let them take hold of the finances, the documents, the house, because when an enemy feels victorious, they slip. After their car finally pulled away, and the silence settled in, my husband knelt beside the far wall. His fingers searched for a single uneven brick, one he must have checked countless times in the dark. Without ever telling me, he pressed. It shifted. Behind it, a steel lockbox, coated in dust but untouched. Inside lay the original property deeds, our true will, bank accounts in our names alone, and a small recorder, the old kind, packed with weeks of captured conversations. Every whisper, every scheme, every damning word from my son and his wife. My husband looked at me with calm certainty. For 39 years, he said, I've prepared for the day someone tried to take everything. I just never imagined it would be him. My heart splintered, but my resolve turned sharp. We slipped out through the maintenance hatch they didn't know existed. By morning, our lawyer had the recordings, the authorities had the documents, and our son had no idea the ground beneath him was already collapsing. That evening they strutted into the living room, laughing, confident, rehearsed, until they saw us sitting in their chairs. My daughter-in-law went pale. My son's breath stuttered. My husband slid the recorder across the table, already playing. Their voices filled the room, plotting the house, the signatures, the plan to shove us out for good. My son whispered, Where did you get this? I met his stare, cold but steady. From behind the wall you locked us behind. His wife bolted for the door. When the sirens wailed outside, my son didn't run, but he wouldn't look at me either. He kept his eyes on the floor as the officers cuffed him, finally grasping the truth. No one had replaced him. He had replaced himself with the worst version he could become. The house is quiet now. Too quiet but peaceful. My husband sits beside me, his hand warm in mine. We didn't lose a son, he whispers. We uncovered the man he chose to be. Maybe he's right. Maybe the deep betrayal wasn't what they planned, but who my son allowed himself to turn into. But justice has its own taste. Not sweet, not bitter, just clean. And as I close the basement door behind me, I whisper into the hollow dark. He learned who took his place, and it wasn't another man. It was the truth.